There's someone here. He seems to be in great pain.
The man before you writhes in pain, oblivious to you. Otherworldly shackles are coiled all around him, keeping him prostrate. The man raises his head with an anguished groan.
I am Ahu. Well, your search is at an end. Apologies if you were expecting a more convivial setting.
He coughs up a gout of blood. Before he can dissuade you any further, his eyes roll back and he loses consciousness.
Ghosts, and they're tearing his soul apart.
The spirit ignores you, focused as it is on tearing the source from its captive. It stinks of dark magic. The spirit seizes the pain you inflict upon it and turns it back on you. The pain you share nears unbearable levels, and the spirit begins to smile. This is the pinnacle of its existence, and then it exists no more. The pain it gave you ebbs away.
Stop! I told you to leave. You're going to kill me. You can't.
He shudders as fresh waves of pain course through him.
Leave, while you still have a chance. And don't touch the...
He passes out mid-sentence from the pain. The dark stench assails you. The spirit concentrates on tearing the source from its captive. The spirit seizes the pain you inflict upon it and turns it back on you. The pain you and then it exists no...
Stop! Yeah! Stop! Please stop! The pain! It's too much!
His face goes slack as the pain renders him senseless. The man doesn't respond. He's out cold. The dark stench assails you. The spirit concentrates on tearing the source from its captive. The spirit seizes the... and then...
Our ghost. They know no mutilation until the master.
My dear Lord Ahu, you should have told me you were expecting visitors.
Run, you fools!
That, I'm afraid, is a matter of perspective. From where I stand, all of you must die. Everything depends on it.
Why, Kim? Why betray everything for which you once stood?
I stood for a lie. The God King told me the truth, so I swore an oath. He's sorry it turned out this way, of course. But you can never see Lucian. It can't be allowed. Oh dear, I thought you might say that. Shall we then?
The spirit watches you, composed and dignified, even in death.
Of course you do, Godwoken. Why else would you seek out a tired spectre like myself? But what you ask was expressly forbidden by the Divine before his death. None, especially Godwoken, were to approach his remains. He saw that his crypt was turned into a fortress to thwart the likes of you. He even arranged for Godwoken to be harried by White Magister and lone wolves, to keep them far away from his crypt. I swore to uphold his wishes. I know. And so I'm going to help you. Lucian's precautions have failed. The Void thrives. It's clear that a different approach is needed, that a new Divine is needed. Nobody knows every step of the Path of Blood, but I'll do what I can for you. First, you must get past Lucian's statues, the one that judges those who approach it. An amulet filled with source paired with a scroll of atonement will let you pass unharmed. A man named Sanders was the engineer who designed this stage of the Path of Blood. He works as a toy seller now, right here in Arx. Tell him that I sent you. He will give you what you need. Wear the amulet to charge it with source. Then bring both it and the scroll to the Path of Blood. There is a hidden mechanism. Place the amulet inside it, then read from the scroll in order to pass. Further obstacles lie beyond. I can only help with one of them. The Death Room. The room is filled with levers. Most are deadly, but 5 will lead you closer to Lucian's tomb. Each lever is named after a virtue of the Divine. 5 of them bear initials that spell power. Select these 5 and these alone. Then ask. The Divine cannot be asked such questions, Godwoken. Besides, I trusted him. He must have had his reasons. I just hope he'll forgive me for breaking the oath I swore. He said that if anyone were to approach his remains, then the world would be left vulnerable to the Void. It was not for me to question how, only to serve. Farewell, Godwoken. The Hall of Echoes beckons me.